Hey guys, Django here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the G.55 serie 1. This is the regulatory brother of the G.55s. This one is unlockable for us all. And it's pretty similar to the G.55s actually. It's got a pretty good climb rate. It's got good maneuverability. Great armament, as we all know. This thing has 3 20mm guns, 2 in the wings and 1 in the nose, and also 2 machine guns in the nose. Like I said, the maneuverability is good, the roll rate is good, and the turn time is good. The plane performs best at mid to low altitudes. That doesn't mean it cannot perform at all at higher altitudes. It is decent there, but against top performers on that altitude, like for example the P-47 or P-51, you will face trouble and most likely you will get shot down. The maneuverability in the plane suffers when it's slower, and the plane also suffers from overheating, so extensive web usage in the plane will result in a red engine, or at least orange, pretty quickly, and when you get then into an extensive dogfight you will overheat the engine and you will be forced to abstain from web usage, and this can be very detrimental in a dogfight. So you want to make sure that you do use web to climb, of course, as you want to get the altitude, but you want to also make sure that you cool down your engine enough before getting into an engagement so that you have some web to spare, let's say. Now the top speed in this plane is subpar. It is not fast. The dive speed of the plane is pretty decent, but the effective dive speed is a little less good due to a little bit of compression. But all in all, the plane is definitely not fast. There's a lot of planes that are faster than this plane, and going into a dive is definitely not the answer to escape to safety, because a lot of planes are better than this plane in a dive and also have better performance in a dive. For example, planes that have better roll rate than this plane in a dive, while you go down, they will easily catch up to you and shoot you down, so you want to be aware of that. The plane also has bad energy retention, and then especially in the vertical. This plane is not good in the vertical. I still use the vertical in it, but I use it at moments where I deem it safe to use it. For example, when I'm after a plane or when I'm making a high yo-yo or stuff like that. When you have a plane behind you and you want to go into the vertical, you gotta make damn sure that you can gain something out of that move, because if you don't gain anything from it and you have to continue the dogfight, most likely will have lost more energy than the plane you're fighting, as this plane loses a lot of energy in the vertical. I would say, like the G.55s, this is a jack of all trades and not a specialist. And that can be good for some players. Like the plane also doesn't have superbly major downsides where it's very weak. It does everything decent, but it also doesn't have things where it excels at extremely. Well, except maybe for the firepower, but I mean, avoiding head-ons when you face this plane is pretty doable. When you fly the plane though, you want to make excessive use of the armament. You want to take head-ons when you can, and if you are a head-on specialist like myself and you have put a lot of practice in that, then you will get great results from this plane in head-ons. Seriously. I will demonstrate you that partly in this match, and I will also show you the excellent performance it has on mid to low altitudes. Let's say from about 5,000 meters downwards. This plane is fantastic. How I usually try to use this plane is I'll try to utilize the good climb rate by getting altitude, and then I will try to boom and zoom with short runs. So you don't go into a deep boom, you just make the boom short find targets that are not too far below you, and you can make boom and zoom attacks on those planes. When you get out of the boom, you make the zoom climb not too steep. As you know, this plane is bad in the vertical, so if you go 100% in the vertical, then you will lose a lot of speed. So make the angle a little shallow. You want to energy fight with this plane only when you are absolutely sure when you can win and you have a good grasp of the plane that you're fighting, because many planes have a better energy retention than this plane, especially in the vertical. And in most dogfights you're almost forced to use the vertical now and then, so that's difficult in this plane. You have to think about that. Also, the use of head-ons, like I said, in this plane is very important, and that's what I often use in this plane. I mean, you see me do head-ons in every plane. It is something I have made my own. I have trained head-ons because I noticed I was very bad at them and I died most often from head-ons, and I decided to practice in it, to master myself in this art of the head-on. And you have players that say that head-ons is useless and that you should never do it because your plane could get hurt. I can tell you, if you master yourself in this art, it is an art, it's an air combat maneuver as far as I'm concerned in the game. Not in real life, of course, but then you're gambling with your life, but you know what I mean. If you practice this, you can get major returns from being good at head-ons. You can also turn fight in this plane when it's safe. Here comes the first head-on of this match, by the way. This I-185, I have to get him, and I do. This plane doesn't let me down. I do get 2 glancing hits, and my wings are a little bit into the dark yellow. As I do get hit from it, we turn off in time here, but not in time to also avoid 1 hit. Both of my wings got 1 or 2 bullet holes in it, and it balances out, and I didn't notice any difference in the flight performance. So we were lightly hit. Like I said, this plane is also, here we see one of those short boom and zoom runs. This plane was less than 2 kilometers below us, and I managed to make the dive pretty easily as he came up. When we attacked him, he was about 1.5 kilometers below us. That was a good distance for this plane to travel. You don't want to go into 3 kilometer booms, because this plane will not be doing well with its bad dive performance. We take out this PE2 in the vertical, but there's nobody around to take advantage of our energy loss in the vertical here. The LA7 takes out the G.55 ally of mine that was in the neighborhood here, and he turns, and I'm not sure if he was actually aware of us, but he's extending away from us and he doesn't make any move while he's at my ideal fire range. I used a 600 meter convergence in this match with air target belts. I love the air target belts on these things. The G.55s, fantastic belts. You can also use stealth, that is also great. But for some reason I've stuck with air targets. I like them. Not too many air tracers, you can still see the targets, you can still see what you're doing. And there goes another Yak 3. Now there was only 1 plane left in the match, and we did not manage to get him, unfortunately. But this was a very fun match with 6 kills. And short match even. Not too long. Brilliant. Yeah, so good plane all in all. Avoid the extensive use of the vertical, and you can turn fight in this thing when it's safe to do so against an opponent. No problem. That was a good match. Had a lot of fun in that. First place, 6 air targets shot down. Let's see what kind of rewards we got for that performance. Let's see, what did we get for special rewards? Only 2. We got Survivor and Terror of the Sky. We got 117,000 Silver Lions and almost 7,000 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now this is a very enjoyable plane. I've only flown a few matches with it so far, but I've flown so much of the G.55s that I can feel that this is very similar. It's a It's a good plane, but it does have its downsides as well. Like I said, the good sides of it is the climb rate, good maneuverability, armament is fantastic, good roll rate and good turn time. It does very well with that. It also got a very good belt, the air target belts, and the stealth belts are fantastic. But the maneuverability suffers when it's slower. It does suffer from overheating. It has a subpar top speed. It is not a fast plane. It is bad in the long-term dive performance due to control stiffening. It has bad energy retention, especially in the vertical. And it is like the G.55, and as I said there in that review, that it is a jack of all trades. It is not a specialist, this plane, except maybe at head-ons. But there are better planes at everything this plane can do, and this plane does everything well, which is an advantage as well, but it doesn't shine in any of the departments. So if you're at high altitudes against a P-47, P-47 will be in the advantage. If you're turn fighting with a Zero, Zero will be in the advantage, and so on. It's obvious examples, but you know, you get my drift. The plane is very versatile when it comes to that. You can use it in a lot of semi-rolls, you can use it for short boom and zoom runs, not long boom and zoom runs. It does energy fight, but you gotta be aware that in the vertical you lose a lot of energy. So you gotta be smart with that. You can use it very well for head-ons. You can turn fight with it when it's safe, but not with specialists. And all in all, a great plane that is enjoyable to fly, but definitely not overpowered. Watch my tutorial if you haven't seen that yet. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.